'Cause you never know what tomorrow brings in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life.
What's going on, everybody? It's Barba233 back with another video, and honestly, guys, I'm excited to bring you guys this one, just like I was every other video. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. The support I have been getting the past few days has been absolutely incredible. I am so happy about it. Honestly, I couldn't be more excited than I am right now. I didn't expect this to be growing so quickly, and I have no one to thank but you guys. It's not me, it's you guys. Thank you for liking, commenting. I love the discussion under my posts. I love it. I love the disagreements. I love the debates. I love every second of it. Thank you so much. Keep it up. I love it. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, it's a little bit different. It's not going to be a build video. It's not going to be about classes. It's not going to be a tier list. It's going to be simple, and really, this is it. Why is stamina way better than magic? Right? We all know it. It's a reality. Why is stamina better? So, before we get started, I just want to say I have a few reasons, right? And it's not what the generic is. It's not what you might think. I think it's a couple things that make a huge difference whether we know it or not. So number one, I think stamina has way better skills than magic. And then what I mean by better is when we look at the destruction staff tree, we have crushing shock. This is our spammable, so you can compare this to wrecking blow, right? Let's be real. Wrecking blow is a million times better. And why is wrecking blow a million times better? And this is because stamina gets a built-in CC with their spammable. It can work on any build. And that's why I say it's better. Wrecking blow by itself is better than any magic tool that you can have in terms of weapons. Wrecking blow sets people off balance, so you can half charge a heavy attack. So if you say I'm using a stamina build, I wrecking blow, boom, they're off balance, tiny heavy attack, they're stunned. So you have a CC in your spammable. Magic doesn't have that. And what I mean is stamina can use one skill and have so many things come with it that magic has to use multiple for. So another example, momentum, right? Momentum procs Vate strands, but that's not even the point, right? That's not even involved. What I mean by momentum is when you have momentum, you get minor endurance. So you get the minor stand recovery buff. You get your major brutality buff, which is your weapon damage buff. You get a heal, a burst heal in vigor, or I'm sorry, in momentum. You get a burst heal. So think about this: you're getting a burst heal, you're getting your weapon damage buff, and you're getting minor stamina recovery, all from your major brutality buff. What does magic get? Right? So you're getting three things, essentially, three amazing things from one skill. And on top of it, it procs Vate strands. Now, when you look at magic, on the other hand, right, what do we have, right? We have destruction staff, we have this, crushing shock is a spammable, whatever. But we have nothing in here that gives major sorcery, right? So when we think about major sorcery, we have to use entropy, okay? So entropy, when you think about it, no one uses it for the damage. It's not a good skill. It's a minimal dot. It's mediocre. It does like 400, 500, 600, whatever, every tick. So we use this for the sorcery buff. So that's one slot on your bar, right? Boom, one slot on your bar. So that's not good in itself. Now, when you're looking at stamina builds, and they use wrecking blow, for example, they're getting a stun and a spammable on their bar in one skill. Now, when you look at magic, we have flame clench here, right? That's our CC, and then we have our spammable right here for crushing shock. So we're using two different skills to have what stamina gets in one skill, and stamina gets recovery from momentum, and they get the weapon damage, right? We don't get recovery. We don't even get intellect. If we had degeneration at least give us minor intellect, I would respect it, right? Now, people say, oh, you can use potions for your damage buff. That is true, but it's also very expensive, and it makes your potions not viable when you need them the most, right? If you're in trouble, if you're in a pinch, and someone's chasing you, go behind line of sight, potion, bang, you're back to full, right? Now, that doesn't really exist. So when you're talking about the weapon abilities, because that's really key in every build, you don't get it. you don't get what stamina gets. It's not accessible. And I think that makes a huge deal, right? Because think about it. Two-hand also gets a finisher, right? We don't get a finisher for destruction staff or magic builds. So impulse, right? The flame version of impulse is supposed to do more damage to low health enemies, right? It doesn't. So when you look at it, we can't even have a finisher on our bar if we wanted to, right? 3 of our things are major sorcery, CC, spammable. Stamina gets that in 2 moves. That's basically what I'm saying. On top of it, stamina gets the best ultimate in the game, I think, which would be Dawnbreaker. It does physical damage. It used to do magic damage. It doesn't anymore, which is why it's not really usable on magic builds. Don't get me wrong, Meteor is solid, but it costs 200, and Dawnbreaker gives an insane dot. And it stuns. That's another CC. I mean, so does Meteor, but Dawnbreaker is so much more accessible. So that's another thing. Stamina gets an advantage in ultimates. And I just think that it just stamina has so much more utility as to what they have access to. And another thing I would say is vigor. I mean, stamina builds get access to rapid regen, which is essentially vigor for magic builds. But the difference is stamina can use any weapon and still have vigor. We have to use a resto staff to get this dot heal. Unless you're a necro, you can have access to mortal coil, which is nice. But the problem is, a lot of people don't want to use a resto staff because you can't block, right? You want to use a frost staff or one-handed shield so you can block. So you can't even access rapid regen, while stamina can always access vigor. So that's what I think about the skills. So we'll move on to the next thing. So I think stamina is better at doing burst damage, and in ESO, burst damage is king, right? You got to do burst. And the reason I say that is because stamina has a much easier time stacking weapon damage. Now, if you look at builds and you compare them, you can get insanely high spell damage, but you're not going to do so in a way that stamina can. And the reason I say this is because stamina has so many different sets that stack weapon damage. For example, back in the day they had Fury and Ravaging, right? Now you can use 7th Legion on the back bar just for using an armor ability. You can use Clever Alchemist. I know that exists on magic builds as well, but it's more of a stamina thing, I think. It's better for stam. Well, meanwhile, magic doesn't really have anything that gives straight up damage. And it doesn't proc. It doesn't really proc damage. We have Burning Spellweave. We have a couple other things. But I think being able to backbar a proc set like that is something that magic doesn't really have as much. So that way I think it's easier to burst, especially when you think of stamina skills compared to magic skills. Like, for example, the Necromancer Blast Bones, right? My Blast Bones, because I'm a magic necro, isn't anything compared to the stamina one just because stam applies major defile. Meanwhile, mine doesn't do crap. And that's fine. If they fix Blast Bones, I won't have an issue. But it's not even just that. It's the same thing with, for example, what else? What other classes have more burst damage? DK, right? So Stam DK's Leap does a lot more than Magic DK's Leap. I think Stam Templar has a lot more burst than Magic Templar because Dawnbreaker, that's it. Dawnbreaker's better on Stam. Stam Sork as well. Dawnbreaker into Crystal Weapon into You're Dead. I mean, Sork has Magic Sork has burst too, but I think Stam's just better in that way. So yeah, I think in terms of burst, Stamina's better. And it's easier for them to do burst than Magic. Magic, I feel like you have to line up so many combos. On Stam, you can Wrecking Blow. And you're going to destroy, you're going to clap cheeks, right? I mean, the Magic's great too, but I think Stam's just easier. So, we'll move on to the next point. And this one is the one that got a lot of controversy in my videos, and I'm glad because I think it needs to be talked about, which are proc sets, right? I think Stam is better at using proc sets than Magic, and I know you can disagree here, and I do not penalize you for that because you can disagree. But when I think of proc sets, right, I'm thinking of Unleash Terror, which is probably, I think, in my opinion, maybe the best in the whole game. You have Hunter's Venom, which is probably maybe even second best. But I know Magic does have some good ones, like Black Rose Prison Staff, but that's an arena. Vatestrand Staff, also an arena. And like things like Oblivion's Foe, but on that's also like Magic or stand builds have Savara's Scales, they have Vatestrand's two hand. So I think Stamina is able to balance procs and tankiness just a little bit better than Magic. This isn't the biggest deal. I don't think this is the main reason that Stam's better than Magic. To be honest, my last point that's coming up next is probably the biggest one of them all, and it's one that a lot of people don't think about, and I do. So let's just get to it. So my last point, and I think perhaps the most important point, is roll dodging. Roll dodging is, let's be real, Stamina kills Magic in this aspect. Roll dodging can take your build from not tanky to so tanky. Think about roll dodging Nightblades, right? They are able to destroy people because they have roll dodging. So the way I think of it, right, I'll explain it in a way that makes sense. So yes, Magic builds can roll dodge. They can only roll dodge a couple times though. When you have a Stamina build, think about it this way: if you use Vigor into a momentum heal, right, you're gonna get a burst heal. But if you're if you use a Vigor and then you're roll dodging, your heal is still ticking. So while you roll dodge, you can't take any damage. But while you're roll dodging, you can be healed. So you're going to be healing while you're roll dodging, and as a Stamina build, you can roll dodge infinitely more times, right? So you're getting the heal. Now, as a Magic build, you can have damage shields, right? And if we were a few updates ago, this point would be irrelevant. But because damage shields aren't as good as they were anymore, because I know you guys remember back when Harness Magica was the meta, and everyone used it. Now, you can crit shields, and people just destroy shields with dots and procs. So shields are almost useless unless you're a Sork, because you can stack so many. But besides Sorks, you're healing, and your healing is directly being combated with damage at all times, right? So that's kind of where I mean. So roll dodging is really can make your build so much more tanky. And my next point actually would go into the fact that it's going to change next update, I think, because Magic is getting a buff to roll dodging. So I think it could even out a bit more. I think right now Stamina's a bit better. Actually, I think Stamina's a lot better. And with my tier list that a lot of you guys liked, as you can see, Stam builds are just better because they have burst, they can roll dodge, and they can access pretty much everything. And it's really the biggest things are the roll dodging and the stack skills, right? So Stamina can access so many things with their skills and roll dodge while healing, and they can get away from fights so much easier than Magic. And when you look at Magic, I mean, it's nice, right? It's like you can burst heal more with Magic, I think, but when you're thinking about roll dodging, look, if I'm gonna fight, I mean, I have Shackle Breaker on, so I have a good amount of stam. But if you roll dodge 3 times, you're out of stam. So if I CC break and then I roll dodge, I'm out of stam. On a Stamina build, I'm not. I can get away. So I think these things really do contribute to it. Magic is still good if you're a good player. That's not what this video is about. I'm not here to complain. I just think that the meta is Stam, and I think I'm just explaining why I think it's Stam. You know, it is what it is. I can't complain. I mean, sometimes Magic's better in certain updates. Sometimes Stam's better. If damage shields make a comeback, Magic will make a comeback. So I'm okay with that. But those are my reasons why I think Magic's better. I'm sorry, not Magic. Stamina's better. So yeah, I mean, I would like you guys to leave your thoughts below. If you agree, disagree, if you want to tell me I'm an idiot. Honestly, I'm all for it. Tell me I'm stupid if you think I'm wrong. I don't mind it. I like debating. I love the content, and I love talking to you guys about it. And again, I really appreciate all the love you guys are giving me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be uploading every single day. And Again, I'm going to leave a poll on this video. So I'm going to give you a couple ideas as to what my next video might be, and I'm going to let you guys vote on it. So we can just figure it out from there, you know? So that's pretty much going to be all I got today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for the love and the support and all the views you're giving me. I really love to see it, man. I'm excited to post another video later today or even tomorrow. So be on the lookout. And yeah, last thing is have a good one, guys, and don't forget to sub. Thanks.